Hey everyone, welcome to Baddies and Biz. I'm Krista Rialba, and I'm so excited for this series. This is our second episode, and here I'm going to be interviewing Chelsea Taylor, and I'm so excited to dive in and learn more about her story. So, I know Chelsea because we are part of the same collective, the Wellness Collective, and we share a partnership with Amare, which you're all welcome to ask for the overview afterwards. If you're watching the recording, please do. It's like a 15-minute overview. So if you want to know how she did it, how we're doing it, that's really the secret sauce that you need. But I think what makes this really cool is that it's not really a one size fits all. We all get started for different reasons. We all have a different journey. Pretty much all of us, I'm going to double check with Chelsea here in a second. That'll be my first question. It's not our first rodeo. We've had different experiences with different companies, different partnerships that have all led us here. So let's actually start there. Welcome, Chelsea. So happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I do have
Yes.
a bit of like a sinus thing going on. It's going around, so I'm like super nasally and sniffly, so just forewarning you.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
but no, I'm super excited and yes, I've been in the industry actually for 10 years. I literally joined network marketing when I was 18. I'm 29 now. Um, so my business story is super long, but what led me to Amare was the products for sure. Um, I just got off another call and we were just talking all about how I feel like in this company we genuinely lead with the products, which is how it should be, because this is what we're selling and this is what we are promoting. And you don't join a business unless you have weird intentions. You don't join a business unless you love the product. So for me, my Amare story started in 2 years ago, 2022. And I'm a mama of three boys, and I had my third son in 2021. And I also have a history of preterm birth with my kids. So all my boys were born between 32 and 34 weeks, and no reason, literally have no idea. But for my last, they recommended that I go on progesterone just to make sure that I mean, it's just one of those things that maybe will help or maybe will not. And I got an extra 2 weeks along, so I think it really did help. But I think just the drop of hormones, not only from giving birth, but also going off progesterone, I ended up gaining 40 pounds within 3 months being postpartum. So when you're thinking about like losing your baby weight, I was gaining weight and I was so uncomfortable and so swollen and just like it wasn't even just like the body image thing. It was just like actually physically uncomfortable all day and every day and just like it was just hard to go through on top of everything, on top of the pandemic, on top of being at home with kids, on top of like trying to take care of yourself, but you're taking care of three kids all day. Like it was just a lot. And so I tried everything I could to lose weight, and it wasn't even like for aesthetic reasons. It was literally just to feel better. I tried like every diet. I did the 75-day hard. I made it like 25 days and then I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because it's not working and it's just like not fun. Um, I went to my doctor, I went to my naturopath, I saw a dietitian, like I literally tried everything and they were recommending weight loss pharmaceuticals at that point and I was like nope because I'm a big anti-pharmaceutical girly. So I was like nope, I'm just gonna figure it out. So anyways, ended up spending like thousands of dollars on tests with my naturopath and still didn't really have a ton of answers. I had like high cortisol and high estrogen, but there everything that I was doing to try and help that wasn't working. So we were just confused. And then I got introduced to Amare by our queen Ainsley. She's my best friend too. But what actually happened was she got on the products and she kind of told me about it, but she didn't really like I don't think she realized what this was going to turn into or what it was going to do, right? So she wasn't like, "Hey, you need to try this with me." It was more so I saw her 1 month because I used to live quite far away, so I would only come see her like once every month or two. So I came in 1 month and we were hanging out and it was what it was. And then the next month I came, she looked like a different person. All the inflammation was gone from her face. She was just like glowing and happy and like you could tell that she felt better. So I was like, "What are you up to?" Because she had been on a naturopath journey and like so many natural products. So I was like, "What are you doing now? And so she's like, oh, this is what I'm doing. You should try it. So, long story short, I got on happy hormones, and after not being able to lose literally 1 pound for 15 months, I ended up losing 7.5 pounds in my first 2 weeks on happy hormones. So that's what sold me on Amare immediately. It's actually so funny because I lead with Happy Juice now because Happy Juice is just so amazing, and I'll tell you what Happy Juice did for me, but it's actually happy hormones that changed everything for me. And so I also have like anxiety. I feel like who doesn't now because of just all the things that we have to deal with, all the stressors. But I struggled with that, and I struggled my anxiety presents itself as irritability. So if I'm anxious, I'm irritable and snappy, and it's just hard when you're irritated and you have 3 kids because they're loud, and especially boys, and it's just a lot. So I would be super irritated all the time, and like repetitive noise would set me off. Like I'd be like, I can't take this anymore. And so the number one thing I noticed from Happy Juice was my irritability was like pretty much gone. Obviously, everybody has their breaking point, but I wasn't like snapping at the first noise. It kind of takes like a couple minutes now, which is a huge difference for me. So those are my testimonies with it, but I have also seen such a huge difference in my kids with the kids' products. My husband used to struggle with chronic heartburn, like literally after every meal. It didn't matter whether it was healthy or unhealthy. And the first thing he noticed with Happy Juice was he didn't have heartburn anymore. Like he
Mm.
rarely gets heartburn now. Now it's spicy food or super greasy food, but it's no longer like a daily repeating occurrence. Like it's not even a weekly occurrence anymore. So it's definitely life-changing for him because that's so uncomfortable. For me, it was irritating listening to him complain about it. So it's been amazing for our whole family. And obviously I could go on and on about all the people that have been impacted because of my yes, but it's just really, really cool to have a product like this because I do come from network marketing. I was with my previous company for 8 years, and I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I will say, like, nobody was coming to me being like, "Chelsea, these products have absolutely changed my life. Like, my life has changed forever because of these products." I didn't get that, you know? Some people were like, "Yeah, I have energy. Sure, love it. Whatever. Love the skincare." Like, it wasn't anything, like, massive. It wasn't anything, like, where you would be like, "Wow, like, I'm truly making an impact." And so, that's the difference here. I just feel like these products are what we lead with, and it's so interesting too because obviously the statistics have changed over time, but I know specifically in Amare, the thing that stuck with me the hardest and that I always talk about now is at one point, I'm sure the numbers are different now, but at one point around like a year ago, I would say, the statistic for upgrades in our company was 692%. So that means that people were falling so in love with the products that they decided, like, I need to share these, and they would become a brand partner. And that just speaks for itself. I feel like most people try the products and they realize, like, wow, like this can help some people that I know are struggling. Um, so I love it. And I think that Amare is so unique because we are the one and only mental wellness company, and nobody can ever have that or say that or do that. So, I think that's what sets us apart from everything else, and I just love it.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I didn't have to ask a single question. You just like shared everything. That's so awesome. Chelsea, what real I mean, there's so many things that I actually wrote down because I was like, I need to tell people this, I need to tell people this, like so good. So let's actually like your testimonial and your journey with the products is so powerful. And I love how you wrote really spoke about the weight loss from a perspective of like feeling good in your body opposed to like, the physical appearance. That's it's such an important point, especially from the mental wellness perspective, right? So beautiful. Okay, so I'd love to shift gears to business because what really stood out for me as someone who's like a veteran in this industry too, is 2 years. Like you've been with Amari for 2 years. Like to me, that's like kindergarten. Like it's like such a small amount of time. And we don't have to get into specific numbers, but you've created such a significant wild income for you and your family in only 2 years. What do you think So obviously this partnership, like I can see as you're saying, like your passion for the product is there, but also the product's working and people wanting to upgrade. But what would you say in terms of what really was the tipping point for you that took it from like, okay, I'm doing this thing to all of a sudden like you grew your business to diamonds? Like what are the key points there that you might want to highlight?
Yeah, for me, again, I know it is like business, but it does go back to the products. I would say like majority of the girls that I reached out to about the business opportunity, their lives were changed by the product. So it's like, two of three, four of my main leaders on my team, like all of them have these incredible product testimonies. So it's just interesting because it's like it really we all do, and I just got off a call and we just talked about this. It literally we do lead with the products as a team. I feel like as a the wellness collective as a whole, but especially my team. Um, but for me, as far as business, like I just can't rave enough about our compensation plan and how simple it is. I'll never say that this is easy because nothing about working for yourself or putting in work when you're the only one that's gonna be like motivating you, because at the end of the day, like nobody's calling us to be like, hey, what are you doing today? Like, gotta put up your post, gotta message your people. Like, nobody's doing that. Nobody wants that. So I think like it's hard. It's hard when we have to do this business for ourselves, but the compensation plan is simple. And the average person can come in and make $500. And it's like that's the biggest thing for me. In my previous company, it was much more difficult to make $500. I won't even get into it. But it was also one of those things where so when I left, the reason I left is because I no longer felt confident that I could help somebody make $500. It was like one of those things where I was like, I didn't promote the business opportunity for almost a year before I left because I literally couldn't anymore. It's just like one of my biggest values is integrity, and that's why I love Amare so much. Actually, like what's so funny is Amare is the perfect fit for me ever. Like it's so funny. The colors are purple. I've always been an advocate for mental health and like I've always talked about it. I've always been an open book about it. So when this came into my life and when I obviously the products first, but when I started learning about the company and about what the products actually do and the science and the gut brain connection, which I knew about, but I didn't know the extent of it. And I learned a lot of that here because we have so much education on the science, which I love too. But this company is so perfect for me. But, anyways, it's just one of those things where I literally could not feel confident or in integrity enrolling somebody in my previous company because I didn't believe anymore that I could help them make $500. It wasn't always like that. Of course, they made changes and things, but I stopped enrolling. I didn't enroll one person for almost a year into the business before I left. And so, what's really funny and what made me decide to go all in, this is like so funny because when I left my previous company, I was actually like so heartbroken because it was literally my identity. I had done it every day for 8 years. It was my only career ever. It was just like all of a sudden I didn't know what I was doing with myself anymore. And so, obviously, I think that played a part in like my weight and stuff too. At the time, I was struggling. Um, but it's so funny because I didn't want to do this. Like I literally was like, "Oh, I think I'm just gonna not do network marketing anymore. I think I'm just gonna go another way." And I started a different business, like my own business. And then Ainsley convinced me to sign up and I promoted it here and there. Like it was like, the products did really help me, so I kind of put it on my stories here and there, but it was nothing serious. But I did get 5 customers that month. And so I hadn't looked at the comp plan. I told Ainsley, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really want to do this. So she didn't tell me anything. So it was actually the next month on the 15th when I got my pay that it was like, you have a payment of $600. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't even understand because I was promoting it and I was getting sales and we're paid weekly. So I was getting like 25 bucks one week, 50, 75 the next. And I was like, this is great. I'm paying for my products. Like, I was so happy about it. But then the month pay came on the 15th and it was $602 and I was like, "Pardon?" So I texted her and I was like, "What is this?" She's like, "That's our focus on 5 bonus, blah blah blah." And I was like, "I'm in today." Like literally today because I knew that all the people that I was trying to help over my previous company make $500 could make $500 here. And it was one of those things where I just literally went all in that day. That was what sold me on the business, because I knew the products worked and I knew that I could represent them. But that was the eye opener for me was just our focus on 5 bonus. Um, so that coming in, and so from there, I was just on fire. Like I love this industry and I love leadership and I love my thing is mindset. So like I love coaching. I love helping people like believe in themselves and like empower people to go and take action and then see the results. Like that's what I love about this industry specifically is like watching people grow and watching people reach their goals because at the end of the day I don't reach my goals unless I help people other people on my team reach their goals. And that's what I love about it. It's like there's no like me getting paid for sitting here. Like there's just not, and it's just not that ever. So, well, especially with this compensation plan, at least, I mean, I'm sure there's other companies that are built that way, but we're not. Like we literally can't get where we want to be without helping other people get where they want to be unless we're putting all our focus in our personal customers and that's it, which is also an option. Which I love about this business is a lot of people don't want to build a team. And so we don't have to do that here. So that's awesome too. But I love the team building, and so I just ran with it. I was just so on fire, and I think I went, like, gold in 4 days no, silver in 4 days, gold in 11 days, leader in 6 weeks, like, it was just so fun, and there was also, at the time, a Canadian Legacy founder bonus on the table, so I was really running for that too, so I have to add that in there because that was an extra thing that was, like, time was a like, you had to do it, and you had to do it by a certain time, and so that was me also excited, but it's just literally being excited about I just lead with that focus on 5 bonus because being a leader, I've personally enrolled probably over 1,000 people in network marketing in my career, and I would say 90% of people tell me they would just like to make an extra 500 to $1,000. It used to be 500, but now it's a bit more because of inflation. Um, but it's very rare that somebody will say to me like, "I want to make 5,000 or I want to make 10,000 or I want to do what you do." It's like that's not the norm. The norm is 500. And I'm 100% confident that I can help them do that here. So,
So amazing, so amazing. Okay, I love this. I could talk to you all night, girl. I actually, when I was like getting ready, I was like, I actually want to ask Chelsea this and this, like completely off topic things. So I'll save that for another time. But
yeah.
let's actually just end with like, if anyone has any questions, drop those in the chat right now. But I think there's like a new thing that I want to ask at the end of these interviews, and that is like a humble, not so humble brag. Like, what is something you've been able to do for your family or for your husband or for yourself that you just like, I can't fucking believe, excuse me, that I that I did this, you know? Like just like something that like you a few years ago would be like, what? I can't believe I did this. Like I did this.
Well, I've made the most money this I've always been a six-figure earner in network marketing, but I've made the most money I've ever made this year. So that's amazing. But
That's
I think
awesome.
for me, and like honestly, this is something that I've had for a while. Like we've been a full-time family for a long time. My husband hasn't had to work and he's been home and he's basically the stay-at-home dad and I'm the working mom, although it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I get to have fun all day. But just being a full-time family means everything to me and just having the freedom to like, one of the things that okay, I'll tell you guys what I did this year that I'm super excited and proud of. Um in February, we my son turned 9 and I was just kind of thinking like I would love to go to Florida. Like let's just go to Florida. It's so cold here and like why don't we just like go on a road trip to Florida? And I was just like playing with the idea, like I was just like joking, but then we literally packed up the car and we drove to Florida and we spent like a week and a bit there and we had a lot of fun. It wasn't as hot as I would have liked in February, but that was the biggest eye opener for me, and it's such a great way to start my year too. I felt so, like, abundant because I could make this decision and, like, we didn't have to ask anybody for time off. We had the money to do it. We had the time freedom, it's like that's everything to me, and it's honestly become a huge passion of mine to help anyone who desires to be a full-time family. Obviously, not everybody wants that, but, like, if there are dads out there that wanna come home and be a full-time family with their wife and kids, like, that is so, like, what I wanna create within my team, and we do have a couple full-time families on our team now, so that's my favorite thing, and
That's amazing.
that's the thing that I'm most proud of, honestly, is that we get and in my previous company, he was home, but it was very stressful because my income was so volatile there because
Yeah.
it was just so different. But here it's consistent and I don't have to worry and we just get to like enjoy being a full-time family instead of me constantly like, being like, is this gonna last? So I know it's gonna last now and it's my favorite thing. So that
I've
is
actually never heard that term full-time family.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like all of
Mhm.
us are home. I also homeschool, but, like, we didn't always homeschool, but we get to because we're both home, and it's just one of those things
Mhm.
that we get to do because of this, and so, I pulled them out of school this year, and I was like, "We're homeschooling because I don't wanna have to ask them to take them out to go on vacation." So,
Yeah.
the reason I did that is because we went on the Mediterranean cruise with them that we earned through Amare, and I was just kinda like, "Let's just keep traveling and not having to take them out of school for it. Let's just homeschool, and we're living it." So, I love the freedom. Freedom is one of my biggest values. Integrity, freedom, both are my biggest values, and I feel like we have that here. It's a
Beautiful. Chelsea, thank you so much. Let me just check to see if there's any questions. I think you gave us so much great information. Any burning questions, guys? Are we good to run with this? Oh my God, so good. Everyone's so happy in the chat. Here's a question that came from Diane. What if you don't have an online presence?
So, one of my favorite things about this team specifically that we're on is there's so much training and so much support. And you know what I love and what's actually so cool because I didn't have this and I don't know of many people who have had this is we actually have like I want to say 11 or 12 diamond and above uplines, which is just so crazy. Like you can't even if you've been in the industry, you understand what that means, but if you're watching this and you've not been in the industry before, you have no idea what that means. What that means is we're in extremely good hands and we have so much support and we have literally every walk of life in our upline to support us. We have nurses, we have so many different people and all ages. We have some ladies who are like killing it over on TikTok and they're in their 50s and 60s and I'm like, this is amazing. It really our team specifically, Wellness Collective is amazing, but the entire team that we're a part of here at Amare is so diverse. Like we have so many different walks of life and so many people that are having extreme success with social media who learned this skill through the leadership and through the different trainings that we have, and a lot of our uplines have taken these social media courses, and if you want to build a social media account, you want to build an online presence, you absolutely can, and if you don't, we have products that you can sip and sample. I know I come from a company that was like a home party company, and that option's there too because we have these products that people can sit and taste and consume. Obviously, they're not gonna notice a difference in the feeling probably with just trying a little sample, but you can have fun with it, if you're a party person or you've done, home party businesses in the past, this could also work for you. There you don't have to have an online presence, but you definitely need to have a network, and if you do, whether it's in person or on social media, you can be successful, but I truly believe that if you don't have an online presence, but you're open, you're coachable, willing to learn, and willing to put in the work, you can build a social media account, and you can really, um leverage this vast like, you
Yeah.
can reach so many people. You can reach people all over the world. You can
Yeah.
build a global team, so all the training's there.
Yeah. And I think this is Robert Kiyosaki, but it's like your net work equals your net worth, right?
Mhm,
So, however, social media is just a way for us to communicate to our network, right? So, we live in the golden age, though, right now for creating online. So, why not leverage it, right?
mhm.
Chelsea, thank you so, so, so much. We took lots of your time and go back to your full time family and your boys. And we appreciate you so much for being like you already walked it out for us and showed us what's possible. And we're gonna be here right along with you. So we appreciate you. Thank you
Well,
for
thank
showing up,
you.
Chelsea.
Thanks for having me. This was fun. Let me
We'll
know if
see
you want
you.
to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you in Toronto.
Okay, see you.
Bye, girl.
Bye.